Got an AMA question. Shrek2 asks, there have been many sites that have aimed to be the Reddit killer, like Voat and Set It, but those have not taken off. What do you think it is about Ruqqus that has made it actually take off? So this is a question that comes up a lot. There's a couple factors. I'm going to pause this music so I can think. So there's a couple factors here. First, I want to look at what these other sites did that I think they did wrong. Voat, I think, may have been started with good intentions. But Voat, unfortunately for them, suffered from bad timing. The initial major influx of users coming into Voat was people that had just been banned from the Great Apes and Coontown and Fat People Hate subreddits. Reddit, right as Voat was starting to gain a little bit of steam, Reddit banned those three particularly problematic, racist, bigoted subreddits, and all of those users went on to Voat, which was the new big thing. And at that point, it was game over for Voat, because now, all of a sudden, the majority of the content on Voat was talking about some very racist and offensive content. That drove away the normies, quote unquote. That drove away people that just wanted to look at cat pictures or just wanted to talk about the news. And it drove away all of the regular everyday Joes and attracted more racists and more anti-Semites and more neo-Nazis. And so that was the user base that Voat ended up building up. And as noble as the initial intentions of Voat may have been, they got completely screwed by that timing. It may have been started with the best of intentions, like, we're going to build an amazing censorship-free platform, and for a little while they did, but then Reddit banned Coontown and Great Apes, and all those users went over to Voat, and now that's the predominant content on Voat. So that they suffered from what we call the Coven of Witches problem. When you witch hunt people, they go elsewhere, they form their own covens elsewhere, and that's what happened to Voat. Set It, I think, is much more much more of a subtle problem. I think Set It never escaped the stigma of just being a Reddit clone, which I know they've done a lot of their own hard development work into improving upon the Reddit code base. I think the Set It idea of having two different types of upvotes rather than just upvote and downvote is actually very interesting and very good. I like that idea a lot. Honestly, I wish we had thought of it. That is something they definitely did right. That two different kind of upvotes. That's something they did right for sure. Unfortunately, it's all built upon the last open source version of Reddit that was published, or one of the last open source versions of Reddit. And because of that, everything is still Reddit under the hood in a lot of regards, with formatting and styling and behavioral quirks and algorithmic changes and subreddits and versus subseddits. I don't know what it's supposed to be. So under the hood, it's all still Reddit, and so it carried with it for a very long time, and it's still like this a little bit in my head, and I don't think it's ever going to escape this notion that it's just a Reddit clone. And even if since then, even if the developers have done enough work to make it no longer a Reddit clone, well, perception is reality. And if people think it's a Reddit clone, they're not going to use it. And I think that's an issue that Set It has suffered from. in terms of trying to grow their user base beyond the 35 or 40,000 that they've got. So, what does Ruqqus do differently? Addressing the Voat problem, our initial user base dating back to the very earliest days was not people who were trolling assholes who got banned for a reason. Voat's initial user base was trolls that got banned for a reason. Our user base was not. Our user base, from the very beginning, has always been people that are relatively normal and are just pissed off at the state of censorship in social media, and Reddit in particular. A lot of that, and we saw this with the ban waves, they've started banning meme subreddits that are too offensive. They've been quarantining subreddits that it's too offensive. There's a subreddit, there's two subreddits. One's called White Beauty, one's called Black Beauty. I think it's called Black Beauty. It might be called something else. Anyways, they're both intentionally very wholesome, very family-friendly subreddits, just showing pictures of people having fun, smiling, enjoying a picnic with their family, whatever, maybe clothes modeling, what have you. One of them's all for white people, one of them's all for black people, but the white one is quarantined as offensive, racist, hateful content because it promotes white people in a positive light, which is not something you can do nowadays. That's not politically correct anymore. Whereas the black one gets off scot-free. Not that the black one should have a quarantine effect applied to it. Neither of them should, by any means. Both of them are wholesome, family-friendly, positive, uplifting content. Just one of them happens to be white people, the other one happens to be black people, or people of color. And Reddit's double standard in that regard, well, we're going to quarantine the white one because we can't allow white people to be seen positively. That's too much. It's hateful and bigoted and offensive. People who are upset at that kind of double standard from Reddit and from big social media sites in particular, those aren't the hateful racist people that migrated to Voat. Those are normal everyday Joes. Those are people that are just irritated and pissed off at the hypocrisy and censorship being displayed by the Reddit administrators, and similar things being done by Facebook and Twitter and other sites. And those are the people that saw Ruqqus, saw Reddit, and said, I'm going to the purple site. And so that was our initial influx of users, and it's been our initial influx of users it's been our continuing build-up of users to this day. More recent bans, quarantines on meme subreddits, banning of the Donald, banning of Chapo Trap House, and so people that just want to see normal stuff, see funny things that might be a little bit offensive, engage in political discourse in an environment that is open to diversity of thought. Those are the people that are coming to Ruqqus. And those are the people that we want to attract to Ruqqus. Those are the people that we want to that we want to have. And so in that regard, Ruqqus is completely, partly by good luck of timing and good luck of who happened to notice us first, and partly by sort of the way we market ourselves, we've had the very, very good fortune to avoid completely the Coven of Witches problem. So far we've dodged that. Voat did not. They were not successful in that regard. If they had been successful in that regard, maybe people would be using Voat. I don't know. We've dodged it. So that's what we've done right in the first regard. That's what we did right that Voat did wrong. And then the second thing is we're building up the Ruqqus code base from scratch. Like it hardly gets any more from scratch than what we're doing. And yes, it's a lot of work in reinventing the wheel of things that Reddit already figured out, but at the same time, it allows us to preemptively solve the problems that Reddit faced from their legacy code. For example, on Reddit, there are some detailed technical reasons why you cannot change the capitalization of a subreddit or a username after the subreddit or user account has been created, because other things link into that, and if you change the capitalization, it breaks those links, and then the site breaks. Well, we saw that. That was something I knew about, because I've been very involved in the moderator community and the default moderator community pre-Ruqqus. That was something I knew about, as just being a quirk of the site. So when I was building out user account, the core code for user accounts and guilds, I said, I'm not going to do that. I'm going to build this in a way that allows for changing recapitalization. Is anybody going to use it? Probably not. But the feature exists. It's a nice thing that we did right, that Reddit did wrong. We dodged it because we're building it up. So, for example, Sedit is going to have that problem because they're using Reddit's code unless they go digging into the core object relationship management. And they're probably not going to do that, because then they'd have to rewrite whole loads of things, and it's not worth it. And so by building this from scratch, we were able to design our layout the way we wanted it to. We're able to design it the way we want to. The layout, we're able to design the features the way we want it to be. We're able to design the relationships and intricate mechanics the way we want them to be, and it's a lot more work than just pulling Reddit code, which is what Sedit did, or what the Donald.win did. It's a lot more work. But the end result, and I'm not going to lie, I have put hundreds and hundreds and hundreds of hours into coding the back end of Ruqqus, and that's not even getting into all the work that Capt did, making it look good, or all the work that Architect's done, filling in endpoints and adding missing functionality that I completely overlooked. It's been a tremendous amount of work. If I was doing this for pay, I'm probably well into the $50,000 range just for myself. Like, I would be charging someone $50,000 to put this together from scratch. And that's just what I've done, not even getting into what the other two have done. It is so much more work, but the end result is something that is far more customizable, far more flexible, and something that I know inside and out. You give me an error, odds are 80% of the time I can tell just from the description where that error has happened. So that's how that is. And so it's a little bit of a rant, long-winded answer. So the thing we've done right that I think Sedit has done wrong was building it from scratch. And yes, it was buggy in the early days, and we like to make 503 memes and shit on my coding ability. And I'm okay with all of that. But the end result is a product that is much more tuned to the user base and demographic that we're trying to appeal to, and the free speech functionality that we're trying to promote. We're able to build the general guild that acts as a catch-all for content that's been rejected from everywhere else on the site. That's something unique that we've done that Sedit doesn't have, that Voat doesn't have, that Reddit doesn't have. No other Reddit killer has done that. That's kind of our main sort of anti-censorship feature. Since we're not hard-coding subnames and titles, does that mean we can fix typos within our post titles? You can fix capitalization in your username. You can fix capitalization in a guild name, as long as the underlying name stays the same. So we've chosen to disallow changing the guild name completely, because obviously if that would break like URLs if you could change it completely. Theoretically, yes, you could fix typos in the post title. We, like Reddit, we have chosen to disallow that functionality because of the fact that titles are so prominently displayed. We don't want to find ourselves in situations where somebody gets a post to the top of Ruqqus and then they change the title to be something horrifically racist and offensive or rule breaking. We want posts to be upvoted and downvoted. We want people to be looking at the same thing across time as they're upvoting and downvoting and reading content. So that's why we don't allow post title changes. And I think now I've caught up on that. That was probably a very long-winded answer, but I hope I did a good job explaining. And now people have been submitting song requests throughout all of that. Thank you for participating. Thank you for submitting song requests. We will get to those. by resuming the song now. The music now. And I need a drink.
Good lord.
I'm happy to answer any additional questions about